Chelsea versus Manchester United at Old Trafford. In this video, we are going to be talking about the tactics that Enzo Maresca utilized in this match. Now, they did start with a 4-3-3. This is something that Enzo Maresca has been utilizing. One of the notable things we did see here, though, was Gusto out on the right side and James on his left side. Now, this does make sense with what he's been doing lately with the inverted right back or left back, depending on where Gusto is playing. But Gusto has been pushing up more into this midfield, and we actually had a back three, which we've seen James do this before. Yes, he's been more so on the right side, but these three guys with Colwell, Fofana, and James are three great players to have at the back, and that does then allow Gusto to kind of roam freely into different areas. On top of that, we need to talk about these three players here, Lavia, Caicedo, and Palmer. Now, I would argue that these three players right here are the best three players in the midfield in the Premier League. Now, I'm not saying that they are 1, 2, and 3 of the players in the top three. I'm saying these three players combined, working with each other, are the best three. Now, the reason why I say this is because Caicedo is able to really hold down this entire area. If you look at the heat map, you can see exactly how much area he can cover. The same with Lavia, but the thing is that Caicedo, again, can carry the ball when he needs to, and he can also play a through ball too, whether it's Noni to Neto to Jackson or even Palmer as well. So he's creative. Lavia is the same way, but he's also very tricky. When he receives the ball, he's able to turn and actually move defenders around and actually maintain possession in very tight spaces. The reason why this is so important is because if he does bring on two players around him, with a turn, with a twist, and playing the ball, he can get by those two players and open up pockets of channels for players then to receive the ball and hit teams really quickly with our other three players. And granted, we don't have to talk too much about Palmer, how much he can do with the ball, even without the ball, but every time this guy has the ball, he's always able to float into different spaces. And it doesn't matter if he's out on the right side, out on the left side, or even central. The man's always able to find spots to, again, pick up the ball and dribble and find other players around him, or even shimmy around into the box and try to get a shot. Now, he did not score in this match, but Caicedo did, and we will talk about that in a little bit. But these three guys, like I said, are very difficult to play around for any other midfield in the Premier League. Now, yes, you could argue that Enzo Fernandez could possibly play this position as well, but what we've been seeing with these three players is that they do work really well together, are able to hold down the midfield, and if we can keep a back line we've seen right now with James, Colwell, Fofana, and Gusto, we will have a back four that's getting better and better and better, and these two guys coming down can also hold a deep line, giving these four players plenty of space to work with their pace, because we know how fast Neto is out on this left side. Noni is also ridiculously fast, and Jackson can play pretty much anywhere and run onto the ball, and Palmer can then float in this entire space. Now, yes, I understand this is a great space for him to have. That's where, again, Lavia, Caicedo can push up, but also where Enzo then has Gusto moving up into this area to, again, help out these areas, and therefore, again, it keeps very balanced throughout this entire match, because when you have almost a 3-2-4-1, it again gives the option to play the ball to multiple people who then can go on a one-on-one with a defender, or again run onto the ball itself. They play a through ball to another player who then hopefully can play the ball across to Jackson to find the back net. These are different options that Enzo Maresca brings to this team with his tactics. Now, I understand with this match against Manchester United, they obviously were attacking us in different spots, because when you play a formation like this or kind of convert into this with Gusto moving up higher at points, that does again leave plenty of pockets of space for the other team to hit on counterattacks. And therefore, again, this was one of the areas with Rashford and Garnacho out on the wings that they again came down those sides and did cause havoc. Now, fortunate for Chelsea, Manchester United never really converted on any of those opportunities. The only time they really became threatening was, again, when they played the ball over the top. And yes, they were able to get a PK, and Bruno did finish that on Sanchez. But otherwise, there weren't too many other options for Manchester United. And it's because with this formation that Chelsea have been utilizing, they can also suffocate the team as well. So really, what Onana can only do is then play the ball over the top, where we have James win that ball, Lavia win the ball, Caicedo in the middle, and even Fofana if they do play it way over the top as well. So therefore, again, we're able to put pressure not only defensively into their own half, but again, if we win the ball quickly we can then cycle the ball around to wherever we want to with these players. Now, if you look at the heat map here too, you can see that Chelsea do utilize the middle of the pitch mostly when it comes to their attacking and starting their progression in this image here. So again, we are seeing the ball be playing central in this area, which every time we win the ball, we are looking to play into the middle to whether Lavia, Caicedo, Gusto, or even Palmer and these guys, because once they have the ball, they then can sling it out to one of the outside players as well. And therefore, again, as we keep moving this ball around, the other teams then have to shift their defense. So again, anytime they are shifting their defense this way, Chelsea then can hit them very quickly and move the ball back to the opposite side. And therefore, again, having a lot of chaos in that defense makes it very difficult for teams to, again, keep their back line, because if this back line does get off to a little bit, this gives pockets of space for Jackson to run onto, and therefore again Neto as well, or even Noni, depending on where he's at on the pitch. If he doesn't have the ball, again, he can win that ball back. And therefore, again, Palmer's playing the ball, Cancelo's playing that ball, any other players, and this gives them those opportunities to get past the defenders and then drive right into the box. And again, as we keep doing this, we keep having more chances, and sooner or later Chelsea will find the back of that more and more. But like I said, this gives Chelsea multiple options, not just relying on one player as Cole Palmer to be the magician to create all these chances and score from outside the box. There are multiple players that can definitely do the same. But that all being said, we do have to still give credit to Lavia and Caicedo in this match, because they played phenomenal. Obviously, Caicedo with the goal itself, but these guys are what really are breathing life into this entire field, because again, as this midfield keeps getting control of the ball, they can dictate the tempo and dictate where the ball moves and move it quickly or slowly depending on what they want to do. But typically they move it quickly, and if they do move it quickly, we have the players that can utilize their speed to beat other players. Now the game did end 1-1, but overall this was a match that again is always difficult when you go to Old Trafford. Despite how Manchester United have been playing, it's still a difficult place to go to, and they technically have the interim / new manager bound, so I will give them credit for that. Ruben Nistelrooy did set them up quite well, play a little more defensively, which is understandable, but Chelsea, again, this is a big point to take away from Old Trafford. And yes, I understand the comical side of saying that, but still this is a difficult fixture for Chelsea, so a point off this is actually better than nothing at all, putting Chelsea now in 4th position, which right now they are looking like a great team, deserving to be in 4th position. Overall, this team is still getting better and better as we look at it. Still a young squad, 23 years average age of all these players. So as we keep playing, we're going to get better and better and keep rotating some of these players with our bench as well, because we do have solid players that come off the bench to put more energy into these players, and therefore again give us multiple different options to find options to score and again win games. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I greatly appreciate if you do hit the like button, subscribe down below, share it to anyone you think will enjoy these tactics. We make videos just like this for all the teams in the league. I will see you in our next video.